Well, the case against Hunter Biden is growing and could result in an indictment. Republicans thinking ahead of what hearings to hold should they take the House majority. Many hoping to question America's top agencies over why and how these investigations slipped through the cracks. Here's Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan with me yesterday on Sunday Morning Futures.
I think the Hunter Biden story will primarily be done out of the Oversight Committee if in fact the American people put us in the majority. They see the facts. They see that there was a laptop, there was the eyewitness, there was the emails, there are all these suspicious activity reports. The real question is, will the FBI hold people accountable? I mean, I got my doubts, and frankly, I'll believe it when I see it, because this is the FBI where we've now had 14 agents come to us as whistleblowers and tell us how political it's gotten.
Yeah, we're following this as the doors seem to be closing in on the president's son. Joining me right now is Kentucky Congressman James Comer. He will have subpoena power. He is the member of the Education and Labor Committee. He is the ranking member of the Oversight Committee, meaning he will be the chairman of the committee should the GOP take the House majority. Congressman, thanks very much for being here. We appreciate your time. What are your plans for this Hunter Biden story?
Well, obviously, it's a priority. We've been talking about it for months now. I think the federal authorities are finally getting the picture that, this is not going to end well for Joe Biden as well as Hunter Biden. And we're setting up our agenda for the first 3 months. The top investigation right now is going to be the Biden family influence peddling. And remember, Maria, it's not just Hunter Biden. It's the president's brothers and potentially the president as well. We've already had people come forward. You've seen Bob Alinsky on Fox News talk about Joe's direct involvement with these shady business dealings. So the whole reason we're investigating Hunter Biden is because we know that he's a national security threat, and we fear that he has compromised Joe Biden. So we're going to have a very productive set of hearings early on in the Republican majority. And I think the American people are going to be shocked with what they find out the Biden family's been doing to profit off Joe Biden's name over the past decade.
Well, Congressman, it's just extraordinary what we've been learning about this. Now there's a new report that the White House is hiring staffers specifically to deflect against any upcoming GOP probes. They're paying them triple digits. It's pretty incredible. But this latest email, which Darrell Issa, your colleague, exposed, shows that the family was trying to get the Qataris to give them money as well. These are all national security threats. What we know is the Biden family took in money from officials in China. He was taking money from Ukraine, being on the board of Burisma. He was even taking money from Russia with that $3.5 million wire payment that we know went into his account from the former mayor of Moscow's wife. Look at this latest email, and it says, from Jim Biden, Joe Biden's brother, writing to the Qatari royal family. He says, my family could provide a wealth of introductions and business opportunities at the highest levels. Unbelievable. I spoke with Tony Bobolinsky over the weekend, and he told me that it was CEFC, the Chinese energy company, that did a deal with the Biden family where they were going to pay the Biden family $20 million so that they could make introductions and help them do deals across the world. Is that what we're talking about in terms of these tax charges? Is this all the money going in and out of the Biden family accounts that triggered those 150 suspicious activity reports?
Well, we don't know. We do know that prior to Joe Biden becoming president, any member of Congress had access to suspicious activity reports. One of the first rule changes Joe Biden made when he was president was he changed that rule. So Republicans have been blocked from getting the answers as to what triggered those 150 suspicious activity reports. Remember, Maria, that's the banks, and there were more than one bank, that notified the federal government that we believe our client has committed a crime. Now, he had 150 of these, at least, from at least 4 different banks. And yet we haven't been able to determine the extent of what exactly triggered these suspicious activity reports. We're going to request these again from Treasury after the November elections. We're going to expect to have these on day one in January in the Republican majority. If we don't get them, we will use subpoena power to get them. We'll also invite the bank CEOs to come in. And hopefully we won't have to subpoena them for that. But we're going to get those suspicious activity reports, and we'll be able to answer those questions as to why Hunter Biden and Jim Biden's personal banks notified the federal government that their clients, who they knew at the time were the son and brother of the sitting vice president of the United States, we are confident they committed a crime. So this is very serious. I'm very disappointed that the mainstream media hasn't picked up on this, because this is a pretty sure indication that there was criminal activity. That means they were probably doing business with people who had sanctions, or countries who had sanctions against, that America had sanctions against these people and these countries. But yet the average American couldn't do business with them, but the Biden family could do business with them. And the business they were doing, Maria, is what you just stated in the email. They were influence peddling. They were helping these people navigate the bureaucracy. They were trying to get Chinese energy company, Ukrainian energy companies through the back door so they could start getting a foothold on American energy. That is counter to everything every American citizen should want, especially now with record high energy prices.
Well, this is just jaw-dropping. And what I reported yesterday on Sunday Morning Futures was that back in 2016, 2017, there was a negotiation going on between CEFC wanting to acquire a 14.1% stake in Russia's oil company, Rosneft. So here you have Joe Biden shutting down fossil fuels in America. Meanwhile, he's receiving money from CEFC, the same firm that wants to buy a 14% stake in Russia's oil company. This is so, tied to national security. When you think about the main companies that the Biden family were taking money from, Russia, China, Ukraine, all three countries we are talking about right now where Joe Biden has to make decisions, serious decisions on the part of America's interests. Is he compromised? And you just said you're pretty sure there were crimes committed. Will he be impeached?
Well, we're certainly going to make the case. We're going to do everything we can to present the facts, not only to the American people, but to Congress. My job as chairman of the Oversight Committee will be to gather information. And we're going to do it at a rapid pace, because unlike Durham, this is of the utmost importance. Durham is trying to correct history. We're trying to ensure that we don't have national security threats as a result of Hunter Biden's shady business dealing. When you look at Joe Biden's energy policy, it's an America last energy policy. It's a China first energy policy. We believe that the reason for that is because the Biden family has received millions and millions of dollars of direct payments from crooked, shady Chinese energy companies that were, in direct link with the Chinese Communist Party. So this is why we're investigating this. We're not going to let up, and we'll certainly present the facts to the American people.
Well, we obviously have been covering this real closely, and we're going to continue to do it. Before you go, I've got to ask you about EcoHealth and the EcoHealth Alliance and Peter Daszak. Here's the guy who, for a year plus during COVID, was telling us, oh, no, forget about Wuhan. It wasn't about Wuhan. He was just given a 5-year grant of over $650,000 by the National Institutes of Health to study bat coronaviruses. EcoHealth is still under scrutiny because they sent money to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and we know that all of the circumstantial evidence shows that COVID-19 originated in that Wuhan lab, despite his constant lies that it didn't. Are you going to get to the bottom of the origins of coronavirus?
Yes, and we're the ones that determined that the American people were sending tax dollars to the Wuhan lab through EcoHealth Alliance. The Republicans on the Oversight Committee also figured out that they were in violation with their terms of the grant agreement. And lo and behold, Joe Biden awards them another grant. What a slap in the face to every American who lost a loved one to COVID, every American who works hard and pays taxes. This is something that has to stop, and this is going to be another top priority of Republicans in a majority.
Congressman, thanks for your leadership. We will be watching. We appreciate your time. This could not be more important. We recognize that. Thanks, sir. Congressman James Comer joining us this morning. We'll be right back.